So recently, I've been educating myself on a game called StarBound, and I know there's probably a number of you who are more plugged in than I am, or have heard about this, or are a PC gamer, and you know all about StarBound, and you're like, anyway, you should know this. Okay, listen, I have the memory of a goldfish, and honestly, I don't really look outside of the consoles that I play. So, knowing that this game had came to Game Pass relatively recently, it got me into asking one major question. That question was, why isn't this on the Nintendo Switch? Chucklefish worked on it, and they've done a lot of great games for the Switch. This has that same beautiful pixel art that they always bring to the table. The game itself seems really fun, but once I started looking more into this game, I discovered I had more questions and less answers. So anyway, today let's talk about StarBound. But before we get into it, please hit that like and subscribe button. A lot of people ask me, Nima, why do you make so many YouTube videos? And the real answer is because YouTube owns all of my property and my family. And unless I get to a certain amount of subscribers and earn them a certain amount of money, they're going to delete everything. So that's why I'm stuck doing this. Ultimately, I don't even like video games. I'm a much bigger fan of scrapbooking. Okay, honestly, I have no idea what scrapbooking really entails. Anyway, though, let's go back to StarBound. So, like, this game in itself, the few things that I have to mention. Number one, I haven't actually played that much of it, and I think I would if Microsoft had come out with their own version of, like, the PlayStation Portal. If there was a handheld for the Xbox, I probably honestly would have gotten that before getting the PlayStation Portal, just because Game Pass and all of the things that are really included with that, having that mobile would just be awesome. But the fact that they don't have it is why I don't really play my Xbox that often. And it just so happens that StarBound was released on Game Pass recently. At least it became available to me, or I should say I discovered it, it promoted it to me. I don't know, I looked it up and it said like it's actually been on Game Pass since October, but I hadn't seen it. I only first saw it maybe 3 weeks ago. And at that point, I actually thought it was a new game. I had actually planned on covering it. But honestly, I don't play Xbox that much, so I just didn't really have the time. But I did keep going back and playing this game, you know, for an hour here or there, and really was enjoying it. It still called out to me as to, why isn't this on the Switch? I mean, for the most part, I think the Switch could handle it. In fact, I don't really understand what part of the game the Switch would struggle on. And honestly, when I looked into the release date, that's when I really wasn't sure why this hasn't been on the Switch. You see, because this game has been out, technically, for 9 years. It came out in 2016 in early access on the PC, and it's been there up until, well, this last year, late 2024. It finally came over to console. This really, though, made me wonder more. Why didn't this come out to the Switch? It actually came out before the Switch was even a thing. We've had a lot of other Chucklefish games come out since then, obviously, and all on the Switch, and this one looks like it would be right at home on the Switch. I have played a little bit of the game, like I said. I'm not that familiar with everything about it, but for those of you who are curious what this game's about, essentially, you just graduated from school, and essentially you were learning how to essentially be an explorer, and navigate new planets and report back to the space station. You're probably looking into colonizing, into also just studying everything that you can find and gather information and really explore the universe. Well, it just so happens that the space station that you're on, which again, it sounds like it might be some small little thing. No, like they have their whole environment. Like it seems like their own world in this place. But it's still a space station, even though it's a giant space station and seems to look just like a regular city or whatever. But again, still a space station and still vulnerable to attacks. And that's exactly what happens as this gigantic alien creature comes and attacks your city. Well, space station. Its tentacles are basically destroying every building, crushing everything, destroying all the people, and you're able to escape using your ship, but during the escape your ship actually gets damaged, so you don't actually get too far out of orbit before you realize you're gonna have to stop, explore the closest planet, and find resources so that you can fix your ship. And this part really goes into the tutorial of the entire game. As you do stop, you're able to terraform, collect different resources. You even learn a little bit about how to automate some of these processes. and you're essentially just finding material to fix your ship. Once that is finally done, and by the way, on these planets that you visit, there's also hostiles or even friendly creatures, but everything is procedurally generated. So I think the first place or first planet that you find is not. I think that's basically meant to be there, and that's what gives you the tutorial run. But everything past that is all just kind of randomly generated until you're able to just explore all of these different planets as you're going from place to place, trying to build up and make your ship better, but at the same time, you're also looking to increase your own wealth after a while. You work on trading, you find other people, and it really just builds out into like a gigantic survival, resource management, combat, space type game. It's like it nodes parts of Starfield, Stardew Valley, and a lot of stars, and Terraria. And games like that, that's really what this game becomes. And it's really fun. Everything that I've played of it, like I said, I haven't played more than like 15 hours, and I don't know if I will, just because the whole handheld thing, as I've mentioned it before, I'm just really big into handheld gaming, and so I don't know if I will, but I also was kind of holding off on playing it because I want to play it on the Switch, or at least play it on PlayStation, wherever I can play it mobile. And then I realized, like I had said before, well, this game has been out for like 9 years. So there probably is no plan to bring it to the Switch, and I honestly couldn't find out why. Do I think the Switch can handle it? Yeah, for sure. The graphics are good. I mean, the game looks really good, but it's not overly impressive. There's not a ton of things happening on screen that would take away from the Switch or wouldn't allow to be ran on the Switch. I don't know exactly why this didn't happen. I was looking into a lot of things about controversies that Chucklefish has gone through, but most of it has to do with like labor and how they're not paying people and this and that, but nothing about like any sort of issue where they aren't going to work with Nintendo. And besides, like I said before, this came out like way before like Eastward and some of the other Chucklefish releases have, so I don't know why this hasn't been released. Maybe there's plans for it coming out in the future. I wouldn't be surprised if there was, but I really think that we need to put some pressure on them because this needs to come to the Switch. Maybe the Switch 2, but again, I think the Switch 1 could handle it just fine, and it should. I mean, it's not taxing. It's really not like over the top. I mean, the Switch can play Doom Eternal and Unicorn Overlord and a lot of other games that look really good. Minecraft, for instance, it's really good. Even Fortnite, which those would be the ones I would think that maybe there would just be like so many things happening on screen that might mess with the Switch. But StarBound isn't nearly as crazy as Doom Eternal or even like Fortnite, where it's online and there's it's not really controlled. There's just a mass number of people. None of that really seems to affect the Switch, so I'm sure StarBound could, but I don't know. Let me know if you guys have heard of StarBound, if you've played StarBound, if I'm just crazy for not knowing more about it. Like, do most gamers know about this game and it's not like just popping out of nowhere for them? I don't know, educate me if you will. I just wanted to talk about it because I've been playing it and I was working on a video, and it was just recently, like last couple days, I discovered that it came out a long time ago. I don't know, let me know. Enjoy hearing from you. Got a video coming up really soon on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, so look out for that. I appreciate you guys. Love y'all. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.